Welcome to San Jose, California for the 2013 Central Coast Section Boys Volleyball Division II Championship, live from Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse on the campus of Independence High School. The number 3 seed out of San Jose, the Leigh Longhorns, bringing a 27-3 overall record in the match, face off against the top-seeded Mount Madonna Hawks of Watsonville, a 26-8 overall record. Kirsten Fairchild alongside Michael Smith. Michael, this is Leigh's first ever appearance in this championship match. Mount Madonna has been here so many times before, yet they've won only one CCS title. That was back in 2002.
Yeah, that was back in 2002 when their now head coach, P.K. McDonald, was a star on the team. And, of course, you know, he's so familiar with Mount Madonna as his mom is the principal of the lower school there. The school goes from preschool all the way through high school in the same campus. And I just think it's really cool that, you know, I talked to him before the game, and he says that he really does buy into the third years of charm now thing because, you know, these past 2 years, these guys were sophomores and they were underclassmen. And now the majority of this team this year is seniors, and he feels like they've matured so much in this 3 years and they're finally ready to actually take home the title instead of being the runner-up at the Midnight Ball. So, you know, we'll see if he can get it done. I know last year I was very impressed with Jake Getz, very impressed with Willie Bryan, and now that they're seniors, they're both going on to play at the next level. Jake Getz is going to NYU, and Willie Bryan will be going to Northeastern. And look at Coach P.K. McDonald right now. Just the intensity. He was so fired up last year, and I remember how disappointed he was last year when he felt that team was ready. I think this time he really does feel that they're ready. Now that they're senior laden, this is their last chance to get one before they do move on to bigger and better things in life. And so we'll see if they can knock on the door and actually get into the house this time instead of just knocking on the door.
That's right. The Hawks losing to Sacred Heart Cathedral out of San Francisco last year. This will be the third meeting between these two schools. Back in the Leigh tournament on March 16th, Leigh beat Mount Madonna 2 sets to 1, but then they lost to Mount Madonna just on April 27th in the Harbor tourney 2-0. Leigh, however, without one of their star players, if you will. And I think what's really neat about this Leigh team, their head coach in his 14th season with this team, playing for his first CCS title, and he said, we finally have the piece of the puzzle we're looking for in a setter. And the fact that it is a freshman setter, you don't see that too often in the boys game. Ben Vanderloot, the 5'9" freshman setter, running the show. It's going to be a steep learning curve for him tonight.
Yeah, and you have to have a setter if you want to be a successful team. You have to have the guy that's going to sacrifice his, you know, star potential and just put up those perfect balls for the guys that are going to get the kills and that are going to get the most notoriety. And, yeah, I love that it's a freshman. And you also got to love the captain, Chase Garfield. I mean, he's come through so many times this season for Coach Rob Carr and the Leigh Longhorns. And you also got to take a look at a guy, Merrick Judd, who's going to be playing at the next level at the opposite hitter position. He'll be going to BYU. You know, Rob Carr was a Spring Honor Coach Award winner back in 2006. And, you know, He's won a couple of league titles, but he's yet to win a CCS title. And I think that's the one thing, you know, longtime legendary coach here at Leigh, I think he would love to just add that to his resume. And like you said, he felt that the team was shorthanded in that one loss to Mount Madonna. And, I mean, you also have to look at that loss to Madonna. That was a day of the Harbor tournament. Both teams were playing like 4 games a day. I'm sure they were both exhausted when it came to it at the end of that day. So, you know, this is the CCS championship. This is where you got to lay it on the line, and we'll see if Leigh is ready to lay it on the line tonight.
That's going to do it for our PlayOnSports.com pre-game show. When we return, we'll have starting lineups and the first serve, a Central Coast Section Division II Boys Volleyball Championship on the line. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes. back at Independence High School in San Jose, California, getting ready for the Central Coast Section Division II Boys Volleyball Championship Tournament. Now, Michael, there are 2 divisions in this tournament, but back when Mount Madonna won in 2002, there was only 1 division. Now, what's really exciting about this year is that the CIF has started a Northern California regional tournament. So all 4 teams we'll see in action tonight have qualified for the Northern California regional. If things go well, there'll also be a Southern California regional. Down the line, there may be a state championship tournament in boys volleyball.
Yeah, I sure know after doing last week's San Francisco section championship that the commissioner of the San Francisco section, Don Collins, is ecstatic about the fact that at least they've gotten to a Northern California regional playoff, and he feels that his teams are more than capable of representing from San Francisco. I mean, we watched a pretty good team last week from Lowell battle back. Stephen Davies and I out here on PlayOnSports.com watched a good team battle back from down 2 games to none to come back to win it 3 games to 2. And the same thing here, you know, with these teams. I think just the fact that they're opening, you know, I got to give the state of California as a whole their props. I mean, this year they've really taken steps as far as progressing the advancement of their playoff sports. I mean, I was so happy to be a part of the first ever NorCal football regional playoff game between De La Salle and Folsom that actually let 2 of the top powerhouses go at it and then go to state instead of just picking someone and not letting them play out for it. And volleyball, you know, it's a sport that doesn't get a lot of love, a lot of publicity. You know, it's one of the spring sports that gets overshadowed by baseball. But I'm really hoping that this will be good for volleyball and it'll continue to grow.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just going to be an exciting next couple of years. Leigh, the lower seed, number 3 in this tournament. They defeated Harker in the first round and then upset the second-seeded Willow Glen team to reach this championship match. Leigh tying 9-1 in the Mount Hamilton League with Willow Glen. That was their record. They're on a 4-game win streak tonight. They started outside hitter Chase Garfield, the senior, as well as Aaron Derkeys, the junior. The middles tonight, Parker Jonathan's the 6-foot senior middle, as well as Chris Davis, the 6-foot junior middle. Opposite Merrick Judd, 6'3" senior who will walk on at BYU in the fall. There is no libero for Leigh. Rounding out their starting lineup is the setter, Ben Vanderloot, the 5'9" freshman, coached by Rob Carr. Mount Madonna, the number 1 seed, 26-8 overall, beat Oak Grove to open their tournament. Beat St. Ignatius to open their tournament and then defeated their Santa Cruz Coast Athletic League rival SoCal. They're 26-8. Mount Madonna went 11-1 in the SCCAL. That one loss coming to SoCal. Starting outside hitters, the 6'2" senior Jake Getz, as well as the 6'1" senior Daniel Fust. The middles, 6'3" senior Willie Bryan and the 6'5" junior middle Roger Hooker. The setter is Pedro Aguirre, a 5'8" sophomore, and the libero, the 5'8" senior Rudy Hooven. P.K. McDonald, the head coach, back when he played at Mount Madonna, he was known as Kai McDonald and one of the best volleyball players to ever come out of the Santa Cruz Coast Athletic League. Alongside Michael Smith, I'm Kirsten Fairchills. Thank you for joining us. High school boys volleyball, best 3 out of 5 sets. They used to be called games. First one to 25 win by 2. That's for the first 4 sets. If we go to a 5th and decisive set, that one will be first 1 to 15, win by 2. Mount Madonna in their black and white, all black uniforms with white numbers, white piping. Leigh in their traditional dark forest green tops, white numbers, white piping, black shorts. Leigh will be playing right to left in front of us at Independent High School. This is Dan Fukushima Fieldhouse, and this lovely facility has become a favorite for Central Coast Section playoffs. Basketball played here, girls and boys volleyball. Nice big stands, lots of room, as our officials tonight making sure everything is up to snuff. Our referee number 1, the veteran Kevin Long in the stand. The referee number 2, David Ma. Stephen Allen and Dennis Kinoshita are the linesmen. Mount Madonna will serve first, left to right. It's their libero, the 5'8" senior Rudy Hooven, as Hooven with the jump serve. Outside set to the left side and getting up, but long is Leigh's big hitter, Chase Garfield. 1-0 Mount Madonna after the hitting error.
Yeah, Garfield went up with some power, a little bit too much power, and knocked it right past the out of bounds or inbounds line, and so point goes to Mount Madonna, serve goes to Mount Madonna.
Hooven goes again, same location, same set. Garfield hits the top of the net and trickles out, so back-to-back hitting errors for a guy that hits .360 coming into this match. 2-0 Hawks. Hooven methodically just working that middle, chase down. Mount Madonna with the first chance to run its offense, running the quick, and nobody home, no block up. The kill by Willie Bryan, and the Mount Madonna bench is fired up.
Yeah, they sure are, and I mean, just a great spike there by Willie Bryan. Just didn't put it too far, just a nice ferocious spike that went straight down, found no man's land for the point.
Mount Madonna serves line, and from the back row, this is what Leigh likes to do. They don't have a libero. Instead, they hit from behind the 10-foot line. The Dierkeys with the kill, and Leigh's on the scoreboard.
It's good to get on the scoreboard early. Let's see if they can get some momentum off their serve.
Vanderloot, the freshman, with the serve. Left side attack for Mount Madonna. Block is there, but can't seal. The Hawks side out with a 4-1 lead. Aguirre, the setter. Back to serve. His right hand heavily taped, and he'll get one more toss after he decided that was not one he wanted to hit. This one he does. And it's oh, they're going to say it's an ace. The top spin brought it in.
Great shot there by, or great serve by Aguirre. You know, you got to think that that tape, his hand might be hurting, but just put it inside the court of play, and what an ace.
And Leigh with the kill after being able to run the quick for the first time. So Leigh sides out. Back to serve is Garfield. His team trailing 5-2 in the opening set action of the Central Coast Section Division II Championship. Jump serve from Garfield. Good pass from the Hawks, running the quick again, and this time climbing the ladder, if you will. It's Bryan once again for the kill.
Willie Bryan, so impressive for this Mount Madonna team. 6'3" senior, going to Northeastern.
Daniel Fust with the serve for the Hawks, up 6-2. Right to left, it's Leigh. Punched up by Mount Madonna, reversed over, free ball for the Longhorns. Running the quick, nope, they're gonna set it over. So some miscommunication there as the freshman setter shakes it off. Get those nerves settled early.
Yeah, it looked like Leigh wanted to run a play there, but there was no communication between the guys in the front court. And then even a better job by Jake Getz. And Jake Getz could have easily tried to do something with that ball that came over the net. He realized it was going to go out of bounds, let it be, got the easy point off the error by Leigh. And now, 5-point lead for Mount Madonna. They look like they can run away with this game.
Leigh calling a timeout, trailing 7-2. Mount Madonna on the march. It's been 11 years since their only CCS title. Will they get it done tonight?
All right, folks, got an announcement for you. Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Then tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Mount Madonna's Daniel Fust. He will head to UC Davis in the fall. The 6'1" senior, his older brother Chris Fust played for Mount Madonna, an excellent player as well, as he goes to work left to right with a jump serve, up 7-2 in set number 1. Coming over, overpass punished, and Mount Madonna's Getz makes the Longhorns pay. The Longhorns look a little out of sync.
Yeah, Jake gets the way of scoring points there. Just a simple little baby tap over for the point.
Good serve by Fust, up 8-2. Left side attack, and wow, unleashing some frustration perhaps is Dierkes. Greg Serrano subs in for Chris Davis, and he will serve for the Longhorns, trailing by 5 in opening set action. Floater serve, handled by the libero, coming over. And that is a back row attack from Mount Madonna, and Leigh gets the point. Longhorns trailing 8-4. Running the quick, off the block, no spear there. So the block, the front line of Leigh really being manhandled by Mount Madonna at this point.
Yeah, they are. The experience and just the, I guess, better skill set is showing off. You know, I hate to call a team out like that, but it just looks like Mount Madonna a little bit more skilled up front.
Tobin Mitchell in to serve for the Hawks. Running the quick, but just a little too open palmed, if you will. The hitting error by Leigh's Parker Jonathans. Mount Madonna up 10-4. Mitchell, the 5'10" sophomore, serves again. Better pass. And just swinging away from the left side. Dierkes has done well early on for Leigh.
Yeah, he's the one kind of bright spot right now for Leigh. And Dierkes is going to have to keep coming through. Outside hitter, only a junior. He'll be back with this team next year. And we'll see if he's going to be the guy they're going to have to keep relying on. One thing that was stressed in last week's match that we did for the San Francisco section between Lowell and Galileo, and I think that's what helped Lowell end up getting the championship, was that the coach told me prior to the game, they can't rely on their stars. They got to be in it as a team effort. And I think if Leigh's going to want to win it tonight, they can't just rely on Dierkes. There's going to have to be other guys that are going to have to play their roles, step up, and also be counted on to score some points for this Longhorn squad.
We're going to have an official time as some tape needing to be reapplied. There are, you know, so many different lines on these basketball, volleyball courts, and the officials putting tape down. And on that last play, one of the tapes got wrinkled up, if you will. That gives a kind of impromptu timeout for both of these teams to huddle up. Just the players, however, not their coaches. And
I think that's good.
Settle down.
Yeah, they've got to figure it out as players. That was another thing I took away in the San Francisco section match last year. The Galileo coach was telling me he didn't want to be involved. He wants the players to figure things out on their own. So if Leigh's doing that early, that could be a good sign. Like I said, like you said, Dierks really controlling the Leigh's team. Only 5 points. He scored 3 of them.
Merrick Judd with the service error. As Mount Madonna skipping back to serve is Joseph Frediani, the 6-foot senior opposite. His team's up 11-5. Jump serve for Frediani, but it's a floater. Handled well by the Longhorns. Behind the 10-foot line, swung away. Dig in the back row for Mount Madonna. And Leigh trying to play some pinball wizard. However, Mount Madonna with the point. Good effort from the Longhorns.
Yeah, Leigh trying to do all they can to keep that ball from hitting the floor. Unfortunately, too much touches. They're really just giving the game right now to Mount Madonna. Before that, 5 of the 11 points were due to error from Leigh.
Leigh running the quick, nobody home. So if they can run the middle as Parker Jonathans gets involved with the kill, Leigh needs to be able to distribute their offense to contend with the Hawks. Dierkes back to serve. His team doubled up by the team from Watsonville. Dierkes with a big serve. And great anticipation by Garfield. He takes a tumble right in front of our official table. Good effort.
Yeah, Chase Garfield just sprawling out for that one, falling over as he put the ball over the net for the kill. He's wearing the Nikes. I got to love that.
Dierkes serves again, and Mount Madonna has some troubles. Give it an ace for Dierkes. Leigh down by 4.
That's now 3 consecutive points unanswered for Leigh. And maybe it was that talk that all they needed is to talk things out by themselves.
Punched up by the libero. Left side attack. Gets his dug. Behind the 10-foot line, Dierkes blocked. 4 hits. They're going to say that swing did not clear by Leigh, and Mount Madonna rotates, and back to serve is Getz. 13-8, the Hawks lead. Setter has to travel. In fact, miscommunication there. And that freshman setter, he needs to call off his teammate and say, I'm there, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, for all the praise that Ben Vanderloot was getting before the game by his head coach, maybe just the young jitters are starting to settle in such a tense game.
It's hard to boss seniors around. You still got to go to school with these guys.
Right.
Overpass. Leigh handles it. See looking for some traditional volleyball. Here we go. Bump set hit. Left side attack. Garfield goes roll. Punched over. Garfield asks for it again. He sets his teammate behind the 10-foot line. You have to admire the power of Durkees to muscle that ball down for the side out in the point.
Garfield wanted it. Durkees got it. And Durkees saying, I can come through for you guys. Just keep putting the trust in my hands. Like I said, 4 points already for Durkees. He scored 4 of the 9 so far for Leigh.
Jonathan's with the serve for Leigh. Great play off the net. Here goes Garfield. And you just have to admire that front row of blocking by Mount Madonna. Roger Hooker this time making the Longhorns pay.
Yeah, Hooker's been large so far. I've been really paying attention to him up front. And he was actually the one that kind of was credited for really with that ball not clearing the net violation that they called. He was right there in the middle to block that.
Serve by Hooven. And Leigh has reached the double-digit mark, trailing 15-10. And another service error, the second for Leigh. Pedro Aguirre, 5'8" sophomore, best server on this team. And the announcer's jinx comes into play as Mount Madonna with its first service error.
Yeah, he narrowly missed it there, just outside of the gray line here that marks the inbounds area. And like I said, I wonder if that right wrist is kind of messing with him at this point.
Mount Madonna well off the net, roll shot. The opposite, that was wide, but wow, what a swing by Judd. He needs to bring that into the court. That'll be hard to defend.
Yeah, Merrick Judd, that's the reason why he's playing at BYU. Very strong hitter. Unfortunately, the point goes to Mount Madonna, though.
17-11 Hawks. Judd, angle this time, dug by Aguirre. Hooven has to set. What a back set from the libero, and they're going to say into the net on Leigh. Point, Mount Madonna.
For Mount Madonna, this is their largest lead here in the first set, 7-point advantage. As
He's going to call a timeout to talk it over. 18-11 Leigh trails as Mount Madonna continues to roll here in set number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information, and also links to great highlights. You can follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. That's right, we're up with the latest social media networks. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Alongside Michael Smith, I'm Kirsten Fairchills. Thank you for joining us for the Central Coast Section Division II Boys Volleyball Championship. 7:30 is the scheduled start time right here at Independence High School for the Division I Championship, as one will meet two. Mountain View facing off against second-seeded Archbishop Mitty. That to be broadcast at 7:30 here on PlayOnSports.com. The top-seeded Mount Madonna Hawks with the serve and an 18-11 lead in set 1, facing off against the number 3 seed, the Leigh Longhorns of San Jose. Fust will continue to serve. Left side attack. And you just really see the talent of Durkees on display right in front of us here at the official table. Side out Longhorns.
Durkees with so much power. The ball deflected off a defender up front for Mount Madonna and trickled out of bounds, and Durkees gets a point.
The Serrano serve for Leigh, and lift called on Mount Madonna. So Leigh able to keep within some distance here. Can they close the gap even further? Serrano again. Aguirre setting left side to Getz. Too much from Getz. Nope, they're going to say Leigh into the net. Rob Carr wants an explanation. Which number? As both coaches on their feet. Mount Madonna with the side out, up 19-13. Served by Mitchell. Punched up. Dierke's block is there. Again, lack of communication by Leigh. Need to clean that up a little. Getz just punishing down the line for the kill. Mount Madonna with this lead, and Getz hasn't even gotten hot yet.
Yeah, I know. That's the first point from Getz. Well, not the first point. He's had a second kill. That was his second kill now of the day. But you just see when he scores how fired up this crowd gets.
Mitchell with the serve, running the quick, and the block. They're going to say side out. Wow, I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere by Parker Jonathans. So Leigh has had few opportunities to run the middle, but when they've done well.
Well, it looked like Hooker got the block, but it never went over the net, stayed on his side. So that's how the point goes to Leigh there.
Served by Judd, the left-hander. Here comes Getz through the block. And Getz starting to roll here. 21-14 Hawks. Remember, first to 25, win by 2 for the first 4 sets. If we go to set number 5, first to 15, win by 2. Dierke's goes line, punched over, coming right back. In the middle, speared, but Mount Madonna can't get to it. So Leigh, you feel their confidence growing.
Just a little bit. You know, I was more impressed really by the way that Frediani received that serve or that kill attempt from Dierke's.
Dierke's with the serve. Gets left side, goes line, hitting error. 21-16, Leigh with the serve and trailing. But their best server behind the line, that's the junior, Aaron Dierke's. Setter has to travel. And caught PK McDonald on his feet calling a timeout. So that's a bit of a psychological win there for Leigh. They've pulled within 4, trailing 21-17 in set number 1 of the Central Coast Section Division II title match.
All right, folks, Play On Sports will have live coverage of the Central Coast Section track and field finals on Friday, May 24th at 4 p.m. Also, you can watch highlights from the championships of all of the Central Coast Section Spring Sports on the Section Network page on PlayOnSports.com. Hopefully you dig my shots today from the Golf Boys Championships. I try to do my best, first time ever behind the camera. Don't forget to check the Play On Sports broadcast schedule page for information on all of our upcoming broadcasts from around the Central Coast section and beyond. The Spring Championships are here only on PlayOnSports.com.
Thank you very much. 21-17. Mount Madonna has led throughout, but Leigh nipping at their heels here late in set number 1 thanks to the serving of Dierke's.
Yeah, he has that really powerful running jump start. I think he's the only one that Coach Carr was telling me that really possesses that kind of serve. Most of the other guys just kind of soft lobs over the net.
Gets with the pass, gets it back on the approach, and that does not count. If it would have landed on Leigh's same side of the floor, it would have. It cannot cross, and just a big laugh from Chase Garfield. If it would have hit him in the face, it would have been a 6-pack. I don't know what it's called when it hits on the top of the head like that. Mount Madonna 3 points away, gets with the serve. Back row from Dierke's, and that was a touch by Mount Madonna as Leigh sides out. Yeah, Dierke's got the hot hand. I'd keep giving it to him.
Yeah, he's had the most kills so far for the Longhorns in this first set.
Davis checks into the front row for Leigh. And off the stack, and the first real play run by Mount Madonna with sophistication. And you can't hit it that many times. You see Garfield was trying to get out of the way to let someone else have it. The result, Mount Madonna 23-18, 2 points away from a first set victory as Hooven back to serve. And Hooven with the ace. Second for Mount Madonna. Set point number 1.
And hopefully they can just close it out nice and quick, not let the Longhorns get any momentum as in their semifinal action game against Soquel. Plenty of ties, went into extras, and they'd like to just close teams out, or close lead out early this time.
Off the second toss by Hooven. Set point. Garfield goes line. It is wide. Mount Madonna takes set number 1, 25-18 on the line, a Central Coast Section Division II championship.
All right, folks, well, once again, letting you know if you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight, then tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. Michael K. Smith here with Kristen Fairchilds. And just thought I'd look at the history of Leigh School. It's a school that was founded back in 1962 to colors forest green and gold. And looking at some of their notable alumni, Ken Caminiti, former baseball player with the Padres. Also a current NASCAR driver, A.J. Allmendinger, coming from Leigh School. So a couple of high-profile names that you would have heard in, as far as athletes go, or maybe you're more of a music fan. Patrick Simmons, a singer and songwriter with the Doobie Brothers. So a very long list of alums that have gone to Leigh School. As for Mount Madonna, they're a smaller school, not too big of an alumni. I mean, as is, the only sport that they have on campus for boys is volleyball. As far as their overall sports programs, only 3, with the girls' programs having both volleyball and basketball.
That is true. Mount Madonna, however, in the past has sent runners to either cross country or track. Obviously, they don't have enough for a team, but those athletes able to compete individually. Another interesting sideline about Mount Madonna School, located on the top of Mount Madonna in between Gilroy and Watsonville, is that traditionally their junior class visits the Dalai Lama each year. And in fact, the Santa Cruz Sentinel photographer Shmuel Taylor, who happens to be here today covering this for the Sentinel, usually accompanies them and helps document that trip, which is just what a phenomenal experience. It was part of their Project Happiness they started a few years ago, where they went to ask the Dalai Lama, what is the secret, what is happiness, or what have you. So that's such a unbelievable experience to have as a high school student. But they have probably turned out a lot of terrific volleyball players. Nick Manoff, who played at Stanford University, number of players down at Santa Barbara. Kai McDonald played on the UCLA club team and was the student manager down at UCLA. But Mount Madonna, obviously a private school, taking on the Leigh Longhorns, and earlier in the year, Play on Sports was at Leigh for the Gunderson-Leigh Longhorn football game. That was one of the most tightly contested games down there. Leigh not coming through with the victory there, but you know, they've got the first set under wraps now. Now they can relax a little, and they know what's going on with Mount Madonna. I expect them to raise the level of their play here for set number 2.
Yeah, I do as well, but they, like I said, they can't just rely on Dirks. If they're going to do that, they're going to get caught in a battle of just a one-man game versus a full team in Mount Madonna. As you see, Mount Madonna really doing it off both gets. Well, actually, to be honest, Leigh is really they gave the first game away. A lot of errors. Had they not made those errors, I would have liked to see what the score of the game would have been. I mean, it didn't seem like Mount Madonna really altogether scored that much points on their own. There was that nice service ace by Aguirre, and then Getz with a couple kills. But for the most part, it was a lot of hitting errors, hit out of bounds, service errors. Just tons of things went wrong for Leigh in the first half. And we'll see if maybe those nerves have been unsettled now. Like you said, that the first game has been played and underway. And we'll see what they can do here in set number 2.
Lee's head coach Rob Carr telling me before the match he needs his team to block better than they have all season, and that's one thing they suffered early, not even able to get a block up on the Mount Madonna hitters. Big congratulations to Rob Carr. He had an accomplishment over the weekend in addition to reaching this championship game. We'll tell you a little bit more about that when we have the opportunity. Leigh starting off set number 2, trailing 1-0. Mount Madonna running the shoot. Leigh staying alive, block there for Mount Madonna, better coverage, roll shot, Mount Madonna chases it down. Geary setting Getz. Getz had to stay on his feet, he was in front of the 10-foot line. No coverage there, so the long point won by Leigh, and guess off the hand of who? Durkees once again. Leigh 1-0.
Yeah, just great teamwork there. It was a pretty longest volley we've seen, I think, between both teams, and Durkees was able to get it past some Hawks, and they couldn't respond.
Gets behind the 10-foot line, Doug. Block there, Mount Madonna. They have certainly dominated the net.
And this time it was Bryan on the block. Willie Bryan, senior, ecstatic about tying this game up early.
Aguirre with the service error. And that gives Leigh a 2-1 lead. Second service error of the match for Mount Madonna.
And things started off so good for the libero, the young man with the taped wrist. He had that nice service ace. And since then, now 2 errors.
Third service error for Leigh. It's awfully infectious service errors. One comes, so comes the other as fuss to serve. All tied up at 2 in set number 2. Durkees. Mount Madonna has not been able to get an efficient block up on Durkees.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get an efficient block, and they've only once have I seen him actually receive one of his kills successfully. All the other times they've just gone off body parts and fell to the floor. And you have to wonder if they're going to keep attacking the backcourt right now, which is kind of an issue for Mount Madonna with Aguirre with that taped wrist. And now you see the libero fumbling away a serve that went his way. You got to wonder if that's going to start being Lee's game plan from here on out.
Serrano follows up his ace with a service error. Mount Madonna sides out, trailing 4-3 as the Hawks sub in Tobin Mitchell, the sophomore, to serve. Mount Madonna 1-0, trailing 4-3. Durkees. Doug. Here comes Getz, left side, well off the net. Perhaps should not have been played. This is a legal play as in there, so Mount Madonna lets it drop. So Leigh starting to get some of the intangibles here. Can only help but fire them up.
Yeah, going to chase that at first was Tobin Mitchell, the sophomore, and then he let it go thinking it was going to fall out of bounds, but looked like it had some room. He should have just went after it anyway. It wasn't like they were in danger of too many touches.
Off the Judd serve, and they're going to say Mount Madonna into the net. Getz could not stop his momentum, so the Longhorns couldn't ask for a better start to the set number 2. Up 6-3.
It's their largest lead of the match right now, 3-point advantage over Mount Madonna.
Judd chips away again, punched up. Problems coming to the table. And it's another ace for Leigh. Third of the match, and Mount Madonna calls a timeout. PK McDonald says we need to talk this over. 7-3, Leigh with the lead in set number 2.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com. And I'm curious to know, what's the big announcement for, or the big accomplishment for Rob Carr?
I know, I'm getting right to it. Well, not only did Leigh beat Willow Glen on Saturday to win the semifinal match, they had just lost to Willow Glen back on April 2nd. Rob Carr is played in the senior games. He's part of the Palo Alto 60s. It's a statewide volleyball competition. And they won the Bay Area Championship. He plays middle and opposite for them. They won that on Saturday.
Right on, Rob. Congrats, my man.
Out of the timeout. Judd to continue to serve. Punched up. Here comes Getz. What a seal of a block. Leigh couldn't have done any better. The freshman Vanderloot in on it.
Yeah, Vanderloot and Parker Jonathan's combining for the block there. And like you said, they just built that brick wall. Nothing was getting past it. And they're really starting to generate some points here off the Judd serves.
And that is going to be a lift, or actually they're going to call it illegal hit. So Judd with the ace. Rob Carr looks like he's having some fun. His team up 9-3 over the favorite, Mount Madonna.
That's now 5 consecutive points garnered off the serve of Merrick Judd.
Judd serving so deep. Right side attack, and that nearly took off ahead. And you see the stride back to the service line by Joseph Frediani, the senior, as they finally get out of that rotation.
Yeah, they sent it right at Garfield's face. He couldn't do anything about that.
9-4, Mount Madonna trails. Floater serve, Garfield with the pass. Dirkey still in the front row, and this time a hitting error. He'd like to have that back. Frediani serves again. Another floater. Dirkey's with the pass, running the quick. Gets roll shot. And into the net, or they're going to call a lift on Judd. So Judd called on the lit, and Mount Madonna quickly cutting into this deficit. Still down by 3 as Frediani continues to deal. The jump floater. Back set, back row. Doug off Greg. Here comes Getz. Perhaps that shouldn't have been played, so Mount Madonna bailed out there, and they're within 2.
Now it's 4 consecutive points for Mount Madonna off the serve of Joseph Frediani.
Another floater. Dirkey's gets it back. Nice set. What a perfect set, close to the net. Lets Dirkey's get up and get down, and Leigh sides out.
Yeah, Dirkey's just right over the top of the wall that tried to be formed by the Mount Madonna Hawks. They sure got up for it, but Dirkey's with so much power put that ball past the tall defenders and into no man's land for the point.
Dirkey's with the serve. Good news for Mount Madonna. He's out of the front row. Gets. Block is wide. Point Mount Madonna. Seeing some big guns firing away on each side.
Dirkey's and Getz, I think that's what it's going to come down to as far as the Superstar watch goes tonight.
Getz with a service error. Third of the match for Mount Madonna.
Yeah, 2 for Aguirre and now 1 for Getz.
Mount Madonna subs in Chris Davis into the front row, the middle, as Jonathan's to serve. Coming over, and Aguirre, what a anticipation. He knew that overpass was coming over. Heads up play by Aguirre.
Yeah, Aguirre, one of the smaller players on the Mount Madonna team at 5'7", but he sure got up there and made a heck of a defensive play to give his team the point and maybe some momentum.
Hooven with the serve, trailing by 2 for Mount Madonna. Punched up by the Hawks. Gets behind the 10-foot line. Judd. Running the quick, punched up by Dirkey's. Garfield goes roll. Getz has to reach back. He had to keep his feet on the floor. Here comes Dirkey's. Punched over. Longest point of the match. Can Garfield end it? Nope. Leigh sets it up again. Dirkey's didn't get a great approach, and a hitting error. Mount Madonna winning the marathon.
Yeah, what a marathon that was. Great back and forth battle between both teams. Both teams playing like a team, setting their guys up, trying to get the kill. Getz thought he was going to have one a little bit more up front. He had to reach back for it, but finally Mount Madonna did get the point. Like I said, total teamwork being displayed in that last volley.
Illegal hit by Mount Madonna, and Leigh back out in front by 2 again. As the freshman setter, Vanderloot, back to serve. 12-10 Leigh as floor captain Getz. Making sure referee knew his complaint on that pinball wizard. Mount Madonna stays alive. Durkees. What a spear, but Mount Madonna can't run it down. Leigh starting to win these mini battles.
Yeah, you know, I think that was all set. I think if had Daniel Fuss let that serve go to start the rally, they wouldn't have got those points. But Fuss played on, and unfortunately for Mount Madonna, it was Leigh's point to get.
It was a great set by the freshman setter for Leigh. Gets hitting error, so another long point won by Leigh. As Vanderloop continues to serve, back out in front by 4, trailing 1-0 in the match. Service error, 5th of the match for Leigh. Aguirre now to serve, his team trailing 14-11. What a serve it is. Judd goes tip. Judd, you know, he's so deceptive. He doesn't expend a lot of energy, yet he really sees the floor so well and sees the open holes.
Yeah, he does, and he's just one of them players that you love to have on your team if you're head coach Rob Carr.
You saw some miscommunication there from Mount Madonna, but Willie Bryan makes it work with the adjustment mid-air. Mount Madonna with the point, trailing by 3. Fust, who served well in this match thus far, has some room to make up here. Durkee says, I'm back in the front row, Mount Madonna.
And Durkee's all over that one. Ball was fed perfectly to him. And when he gets balls that are placed like that, easy pickings for Durkees.
Serrano with the serve. Setter has to travel. Gets, he's in the front row as well. Coverage there. Judd, block is there. Back set, Durkees. The strength of Durkees, no forward momentum, had to go straight up for it. You just see the arm strength. It's a 17-12 lead.
Once again, defenders trying to defend it, but they just can't do anything with it. There's too much power. Just deflects off their hands, falls out of bounds, and point to Leigh.
Left side attack. Right side attack by the left-hander. Here comes Durkees. Roll shot. Dug by Hooven. Gets. Tries to go line. They're saying touch. Fans don't like that call. Mount Madonna will take the point in the side out, however.
Gets a 3-year varsity player, very experienced, and he knew right away that there was a possible net violation, and he got the call.
Coming over. Durkees. Punched up. Here comes Getz, left side. Dug by Garfield. Durkees, tight, has to adjust. Good coverage by Getz. Behind the 10-foot line, swung away. And they're going to say that was outside the antenna, so Mount Madonna within 2.
Mount Madonna catching a break there.
I think Durkees might be getting tired. He's been carrying this team as far as offensive firepower goes. Need to establish another offensive threat, and you have to, that's what you want a middle. Ball hawking Roger Hooker with the kill.
Yeah, Hooker hasn't had much offensive success. He has had some blocks tonight, but I think that's his first true kill tonight for Mr. Hooker. And look how juiced and pumped up he is as he goes to his huddle here after a timeout called by Rob Carr, as Mount Madonna has closed the deficit now to only 2 points, 15-17.
Leigh calls a timeout. Timeout on the floor.
You talk about if these guys are tired, and I briefly touched on it. I'll touch on it some more. Just that exhilarating semifinal game in which Mount Madonna took place a couple days ago with Soquel. And it was one of them games where I think just both teams were so tired And, I mean, they have so much history playing each other, but, you know, it was just a really great game that went on. 24 overall ties in that match, with the Hawks prevailing 25-21, 25-22, 31-29 in that third game.
That must have been a heartbreaker for SoCal. Couldn't get over the hump there. Out of the timeout, Mount Madonna looks to the serve of Tobin Mitchell.
Yeah, I love the quote from SoCal coach. He said this, he said, Rick Schroeder, they played hard, talking about Mount Madonna, and left everything on the court. It's been a battle. Our motto is we're going to work our hardest until they kick us out of the gym, and they did that.
Great pancake by Getz. Free ball for Leigh. Off the chest, that's playable as long as it's not considered a lift. No call. Right side attack, Judd. Block, couldn't bring it in. Leigh back out in front by 3. Again, third meeting between these two teams.
They had never met up prior until this year.
Split, 1-1. Getz goes roll. Pancake by Judd. They're going to say no. Judd says, no way, I was there, but Mount Madonna with the point, up trailing by 2.
Well, you got to love that. I mean, this whole match so far, Getz has just been giving them the mustard. And finally, he just comes with that little soft tap when they're least expecting it, catches them off guard, scores the point.
Frediani with a cheering section comes on to serve. His team trailing by 2. Floater. Garfield with the pass. Great dump. The first attempt by either setter tonight. It's a beauty by Vanderloot.
And there we go. The freshman coming up large in these waning moments here of the second set. He's trying to close it out for his Leigh Longhorns and even this matchup at 1 game apiece.
Durkees with the serve. Free ball. Left side attack by Garfield. You know, Leigh needs Garfield to get hot. Mount Madonna's done a really good job containing him tonight.
Yeah, they sure have. He's generated a lot of his success so far in the backcourt tonight, setting up people and receiving serves successfully. But they're going to need him to be a force on the offensive side when he plays up front.
Coming over, coverage there. Here comes Getz. Getz too hot to handle. Side out Mount Madonna. Trailing 20-17 in set number 2, and Getz heads back to serve. Like this Durkees Getz. They're either in the front row or they're in the back row at the same time. Overpass, joust won by Hooven, but comes over. Spear. Hooker, excuse me, pardon me. Durkees. That is a touch. Durkee's a one-man wrecking ball no matter where he is on the court. 21-17 Leigh.
Once again, Durkee's just reckless abandon out there, just taking it off the front line of the Mount Madonna Hawks. And showing no remorse for doing so.
Not a good time for a service error. 6 of the match from Leigh, keeping the door open for Mount Madonna. Hooven serving 21-18, and I tell you, the service errors are contagious.
Yeah, they're like they're like yawning, you know, yawn, and then you start seeing a trickle-down effect. And right now, a lot of service errors. It's been a pretty sloppy match for the most part. And once again, you know, I guess that announcer jinx is another back-to-back service errors. Now you count the last 3 service errors,
the
2
floodgates
from Leigh,
are open.
1 from Mount Madonna. Hopefully the trend stops here.
Aguirre to serve, 22-19. It's in there. Vanderloop, serving Durkees. What a dig by Aguirre. Good job keeping it playable. And Mount Madonna, I think Leigh didn't like the call. But Mount Madonna, was that what they needed? Now trailing 22-20.
Well, whether you don't like the call or not, if you're Leigh, it just looked like Jonathan's gave up complete effort on that. You got to still work.
Service errors must be giving these two coaches fits at this point. Leigh within 2, and the veteran back to serve, Chase Garfield. Punched up by Getz. Getz behind the 10-foot line. Vanderloot setting Durkee in the front row. Durkee, sharp angle. Coming over. And what a play by Judd. Set point number 1 for Leigh.
Yeah, Merrick Judd just waiting for that ball to come down. It was kind of deceptive, hanging around in the sky for a little bit, and as soon as it floated over the net, he was ready to do something with it and scores the point for the Longhorns.
Geary keeps it playable. Here comes Durkee's. Off the block. Leigh has done it. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece. Mount Madonna takes set number 1, 25-18. Leigh comes roaring back, 25-20. The upstart versus the veteran. What a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sure is a lot of fun tonight, and I am glad to be a part of it. Folks, Play On Sports will have live coverage of the Central Coast Section Track and Field Finals. That's next Friday on May 24th at 4 p.m. Also, you can watch highlights from the championships of all of the Central Coast Section Spring Sports on the Section Network page on playonsports.com. And don't forget to check the Play On Sports broadcast schedule page for information on all of our upcoming broadcasts from around the Central Coast section and beyond. The spring championships are here only on playonsports.com. I will not be a part of that, but I will be a part of the North Coast section track and field finals.
Well, I'll be there in Gilroy on Friday, but tell me this, you were at CCS Golf today, is that true?
Yeah,
and that's down at Rancho Cañada?
Yeah, Rancho Cañada, very beautiful course in Carmel, and it was a sophomore that took the individual title from Sarah. Very proud of the young man, and he's proud of himself. He shot a 68, and that was the overall high point. And last year's champ finished in second place, and he sure gave it his all, as going out on his senior year, and he'll be heading off to SMU to continue playing his college golf. And I'm talking about none other than, where is my man, Andrew Buchanan out of Menlo, finishing second, and the man that finished first was Isaiah Salinda. Third place went to Drew Nelson out of Stevenson. Stevenson took the overall team title, and how spoiled are they? Their home course is Spyglass. I mean, come on.
Didn't it used to be Pebble Beach? I mean, hey, you got to have some benefits there. And that,
yeah.
You're right, that Rancho Cañada, what a beautiful course. That's such a fun event to go down.
Yeah,
there.
it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was my first time filming, so fans of the CCS, hopefully you're digging my shots. I know you'll definitely love.
Difficult to shoot.
Yeah, it was. Well, I just didn't know what I was really looking for at first, but I think you guys will be impressed with the little putt beauty that I got right on the last hole. 40-foot putt sank by Greg Moreno from San Benito on his last hole. Check this, Kirsten. He birdies on that hole with that long putt to finish with 3 straight birdies on his last 3 holes.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, talk about a finish. I mean, the guy shot over the 70s. He wasn't in contention. He's not going to be going any further than that. But what a finish. His family was on hand to witness it, watching him the whole time. And I was very proud of the man, and I told him, your putt will definitely be on the highlights, so look out for it.
Good. Well, hey, thanks for doing double duty today, or triple duty with
Jeff asked, he
D1.
said, hey, you have Modesto Nuts baseball tonight? I said, no. He said, why don't you just swing on over to San Jose on your way home, do some volleyball with Kirsten Fairchilds? I said, I am in.
Well, we're so glad to have you in our neck of the woods, especially for 2 CCS events.
It was a great time last year with Davies, and you were here as well. And I couldn't turn down another invite to come do the boys volleyball championship, especially last year. We had so much fun, especially in that D1 game with James Shaw.
Bellerman.
Yeah, remember that match?
Yes, absolutely. As set number 3, Mount Madonna. We're all tied up 1 apiece. Mount Madonna, the top seed, serving to the 3rd-seeded Leigh Longhorns. Leigh, go to Durkee's behind the 10-foot line. There's a touch as Leigh with the point. Mount Madonna has done a great job on Garfield. They have to figure out Durkee's. Vanderloot with the serve. Leigh up 1-0. Running the quick. Block is there. Left side attack. This time the block doesn't seal. Mount Madonna with its first point of set number 3.
And I have the feeling this might happen to be one of those back and forth affairs where it just keeps getting tied, might go into extras. I don't know. I just feel it with the way that both games are played competitively so far.
Good passing by Leigh. Aguirre setting gets behind the 10-foot line. Here comes Judd. Judd, that's the biggest approach he's taken all night. What a muscle. Leigh out in front as Garfield back to serve. Garfield averaging 4 kills per game in the semis. Service error, Leigh letting it all hang out tonight as far as these serves are going. 8th of the match. We're only in set number 3.
I think right now they just need to focus on just getting across the net. Nothing pretty, nothing powerful.
Turkeys gets blocked. They wanted a pancake there. No call in their favor. Mount Madonna serving 3-2. Fust with the serve. Again, problems. Leigh needs to talk this over as Fust taking advantage of the confusion in the back row. That's sometimes when you don't have a libero. Who's the leader in the back row?
Exactly. I would think Garfield at the moment should be the leader. He's the captain.
And they serve right to him. Judd. Leigh.
That was an easy block for Brian. I mean, that ball was put up with not a lot of anything on it, and it just was right there for Brian to just smack down and say, not in my house.
5-2. Mount Madonna leads in a blink of an eye. Leigh has slowed its pace, but now perhaps they've gotten Durkee's touch called. Point Longhorns. Serrano checks in to serve for Leigh. Again, Leigh bringing a 4-match win streak into this one. Mount Madonna a 5-match win streak. 14th year for head coach of Leigh, Rob Carr. He's an off-campus coach. He's a computer guy, he told me. Block there by Durkees. And Leigh is within 1.
Yeah, Parker Jonathan's also in the area, and right now, senior helping out junior Durkees, who's been a powerful force for Leigh today.
Willie Bryan, we haven't called his name too often tonight, but that was picture perfect from Bryan. Mount Madonna back out by 2.
Well, that's now Bryan's second consecutive point for Mount Madonna, and it's coming at the right time. He had that block to go up 5-2, and now he gets the kill to go up 6-4.
Served by Mitchell. The big swat, what a dig. And into the net, called on Durkees. 7-4 Mount Madonna, and Mount Madonna getting some big mo's swinging their way.
And isn't it crazy how volleyball seems like each set is one player's match, you know? One player just seems to get hot.
Durkees.
Nice dig out.
Didn't go in. Garfield, you know, the Leigh smiles a lot on their side of the floor. I think Garfield likes to keep it loose.
And you got to have fun. I mean, you know, you can see Leigh, they all have the headbands, you know, the bright colored shoes and socks where, you know, Mount Madonna, very traditional colored shoes and socks to match their school colors, no headbands.
It's Judd to serve, his team down by 2. The hops, wow, Luciano Jimenez, the 5'11" junior opposite, climbing the ladder. 8-5, Mount Madonna.
Yeah, Jimenez helped out by Frediani there. Frediani to serve.
Another jump floater, Garfield with the pass. Durkees. Leigh has been living off the hand of Durkees, with the exception of some play by Judd. Someone else is going to have to pick up. This is a 3-pronged attack from Leigh, according to their head coach. We haven't seen too many of the other prongs as Mount Madonna's 6th service error of the match.
Errors will come back to bite you every time, and so far it has done that for both squads. I think it's hurt Leigh so far more than it has Mount Madonna.
Gets blocked. Point Leigh. Such a frustrating match last year for Getz. Sacred Heart Cathedral did such a good job containing him. He's had a terrific senior year. Would love to cap it off with the CCS title as Durkees goes right to him for the serve and the ace. Leigh's 5th ace of the match. Service error.
So right after an ace, they give it right back on the service error into the net.
9th of the match. Gets to serve. Mount Madonna up 10-8. Durkees behind the 10-foot line. Too much.
Durkees and Getz both very similar in their style of play. They put a lot of power on it, and sometimes it'll fall in and go off of somebody, and sometimes it'll go over.
A bit of a whiff, if you will, by Leigh's Parker Jonathans, but those count as well as Leigh back within 2.
Yeah, sometimes it's not all about the power. It's about little dinks and dunks and whatever you can get over the net.
Hooker. Hooker with some taggage.
Yeah, Hooker going right at Parker Jonathans, who is, like I said, he's had a tough time receiving some serves tonight. Come at his upper body. He has no, his reaction has been very slow to it. Speaking of reaction, another very slow reaction. This time it's Garfield late to get on it, tries to chase after at the last minute, and what could you do?
Right, and his setter Vanderloot said, my bad, but I don't think Vanderloot would have been able to make a play on that. 4-point lead for Mount Madonna. Tight set for Garfield, and as you see, he's obviously into the net. So Leigh dragging a little bit as Mount Madonna extends its lead, 14-9 for the Hawks.
And this is now their
Coach
largest.
Carr's going to call a timeout, I think, to get them back on the same page.
Yeah, Mount Madonna opening up their largest lead here in this 3rd set with a 5-point advantage now, 14-9. Kirsten, seems like you've covered a lot more volleyball than I have. I just kind of get thrown into these championship events. Do you think that Leigh can make another run, or do you, I kind of almost see this as maybe a point where Mount Madonna might run away with this game 3?
Well, you would think at this point in the season, conditioning wouldn't be a factor. But that said, sometimes in these championship matches, no matter what sport, it's a long season. Leigh has never played this long. In fact, there are no club players, according to their head coach, Rob Carr, on this Leigh team. So he says traditionally we get better as the season goes on because the boys get used to playing with one another and playing the sport of volleyball. But, you know, oftentimes in set number 3 there is a letdown, and I think we're really seeing that on the Leigh side of the net. Do I think they're cooked and done? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so overall for the match, but I think this game, I just see it so far. I mean, they're still very early in the match at 14-9. But I just see Mount Madonna, if they can continue to capitalize off the errors from Leigh and find no man's land and really have to make them run for it tonight, I think they could find success and at least pull off with this 3rd set.
Hooven serves out of the timeout. Mount Madonna up 14-9. Durkees. And Mount Madonna kept playing, but the whistle blew. Kevin Long, our referee, number 1 with the laugh. Yep, no, I blew the whistle. Don't worry, fellas. Vanderloot serving, down by 4. Running the quick. Durkees with the pass. Here comes Judd. Free ball for Leigh. Garfield down the line. Out. Point Leigh.
Getz coming in with the hot smash, a little too hot. This time missed in that far back corner over near the fans.
Shoot. But they're going to call a lift on Aguirre. Didn't strike the ball properly, set the ball properly. Leigh within 2. Left side attack. Into the net, called on Leigh. So Mount Madonna with the point and the side out. You're watching the Central Coast Section Division II Boys Volleyball Championship match. Top-seeded Mount Madonna with the serve. 15-12. The Hawks lead here in set number 3. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece. As another service error creeps in, 7th of the match for Mount Madonna.
And Aguirre started off so good with that service ace, and since has not been able to generate anything worth note on his serves. They've been all bad.
Coach Carr saying Mount Madonna out of rotation, no call as Durkees from the left side gets with the pass for Mount Madonna. Gets behind the 10-foot line, has to stay on his feet. Judd. That looked like it had some topspin on there, but it didn't fall. Point Mount Madonna.
Yeah, Merrick Judd sure ratcheted up on that one. Took it too deep.
Durkees, block is wide. So Leigh has been hanging around 2 or 3 points behind. Can they even this set as Serrano checks in to serve? Running the quick, punched up. Durkees has to reach back, and what a solo block. The roof by Willie Bryan.
Willie Bryan saying, anything you can do, I can jump up higher, and he sure did that.
Timed it perfectly.
Yep, perfectly timed block there by Willie Bryan.
Mitchell serving 17-14, Mount Madonna. Garfield with the pass and serve receive. Durkees reaching back in there with the top spin. As Mount Madonna checks Bryan back in. Judd serving his team, continuing to trail by 2 and 3. Gets, block is there. Gets, block is wide, point Mount Madonna. Frediani in to serve for the Hawks of Mount Madonna, located in Watsonville. Top of the mountain. Setter has to bump set. Durkees, played by Getz. Durkees, block is there. And just the hops by Aguirre. Likes to get up.
Look how excited he is, man. The little young kid had like a trampoline under his foot that time.
He's got springs in those shoes. 4-point lead for Mount Madonna. But Leigh stops the bleeding. They haven't run the middle a lot, but Parker Jonathan's with the kill.
Yeah, just when Mount Madonna starts to get maybe a little too happy over that Aguirre kill there, then Jonathan Parker's quiets him down in a hurry.
Durkees. Hot potato for Mount Madonna. Within 2. Service error. 10th of the match for Leigh.
Durkees.
Served by Getz. Durkees behind the 10-foot line. Goes roll shot. Handled by Hooven. Speared. Can't run it down. Getz with the kill. 21-17. Mount Madonna consensus.
Yeah, Getz firing a shot there in which Leigh couldn't do anything about it. Bounces off one of them and into their fan section.
Rob Carr trying to call a timeout, but denied. Didn't get it off in time. Hitting error, now he wants it. Time out, Leigh. Score is 21-18, but I believe that is incorrect. It should be 22-17. But timeout on the floor as Mount Madonna knocking on the door, close to taking a 2-1 match lead.
Yeah, you talk about the school on the mountaintop, and you're talking about the Dalai Lama, and it's just kind of crazy. I was reading more about that school and how, you know, they have these 3 pillars that they're kind of built on is Leigh, and the first is that they preach academic excellence. The second is creative self-expression, and the third is positive character development. I mean, they want these people to be high-class citizens outside of school as well, and just that whole peaceful, I mean, they have a lot of nature around campus just to kind of get them in that whole peaceful mindset. It's a really different school, unlike any other, as far as, the things I've read about. It almost kind of seems like a school you'd dream up in fairyland, but you know what? It's really cool. I in a way, it's like I wonder if maybe the fact that there's not much sports allows it to be like that. I wonder if they're one of those places where they don't watch too much TV or anything. They kind of just focus on school and the simpler things in life. And it's good to see a school that's around like that and doing well.
Out of the timeout. Leigh trailing 22-17. Free ball for Mount Madonna. Running the quick and a hitting error, so Leigh with the point and the side out.
Yeah, Roger Hooker went up for it, but just missed hit it as he had visions of sending it over the net for a powerful spike, and I don't think he really got it all with his hand there, and the ball never even got past the net.
Jonathan's with the serve. Dig is there. Here comes Durkee's 10-foot line in there. And Mount Madonna calls a timeout, 22-19. PK McDonald wants to talk it over with his team. He feels coming into this, they are the favorite. This is their time. As you mentioned, 3 appearances in a row. Will the third time be the charm for Mount Madonna? They were already a winner tonight, if you will. Before the match, they were recognized by the CCS rep Steve Filios as having the highest collective GPA in the sport of boys volleyball this year. The 2013 Scholastic Team Champions, collective GPA of 3.724.
That is just remarkable to get the kids that dialed in. And I know that volleyball is one of them things, it's because there's club and then there's the season. It's one of those year-round sports that could take a lot from you. It could take your focus off school, and for them to have a GPA of over 3.7 is very, very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. So Leigh will serve out of the timeout.
And Leigh's impressing me here. I thought Mount Madonna was going to run away with it at that one timeout, the 14-9 break, and now it's a 22-19 ball game, and Leigh just sticking around, making some plays.
Off the Jonathan serve. Left side attack. Into the net on Leigh. And that means Mount Madonna is 2 points away. Securing set number 3. Rudy Hooven, 5'8" senior libero, in to serve. Jimenez replaces Frediani in the back row for Mount Madonna. Tight. Good coverage. Free ball for Mount Madonna. Running the quick, and that is in there. How did he get that angle? Willie Bryan earning his team a set point.
Yeah, and I think it was all set up by that one ball that was in there. Garfield tried to go for the block, but went up really soft with it, and that allowed for a free ball for Mount Madonna, and Willie Bryan took advantage.
Set point. Running the quick again. Block is there. Still set point, but Leigh sides out, trailing 24-20, and having to serve the rest of the way is the freshman setter, Ben Vanderloo.
And this time Garfield does come through on the block and gives the Longhorns a point.
That's a hitting error. No, they're saying that was in. Nope. Called out. Kevin Long changing his signal. Set point number 3 for Mount Madonna. Leigh within 3. Vanderloo serves again. Left side attack. Good enough for set number 3. Daniel Fust with the kill. Mount Madonna taking a 2-1 advantage. 25-18, 20-25, 25-21. Mount Madonna one set away from its first CCS title since 2002.
All right, folks, I know it's still a while away depending on how this game has been played. It's been played very competitively, so it could go into a 5th and final set. But if just in case this is the last set, we want you to let you know that to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com post-game show where we will select our player of the match and have a live interview with that player that's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Lehigh, their key match of the season was when they were at Oak Grove. They trailed 2-9 and 23-18 in set number 3. And what do you know? Turned it around, 1-5. Started to believe that it was a one-of-a-kind season for the Leigh Longhorns. Yeah, the Longhorns really generating something off of that win from Oak Grove. Of course, it's a crosstown rival in San Jose. And those are the kind of wins that, you know, you'll always look back on and reflect on and say, you know what, there was something out of that we did absolutely right that the coach did not have to hark on us about. And then you try to keep reminding yourself to do what you did in that game. And I think Leigh has done that up to this point. I think they've used that game as a springboard. They know the things they did really well in that game, and it's propelled them to this point. Leigh shared the Mount Hamilton League title with Willow Glen, beat Willow Glen in the semifinals to earn a match here with Mount Madonna. Mount Madonna 11-1, that one loss coming to SoCal in the Santa Cruz Coast Athletic League. A lot of seniors on this Mount Madonna squad, upperclassmen at least, if you will, and I don't think they'll settle for anything less than a CCS title, but neither team is done. First ever Northern California regional this year. Very exciting for boys volleyball. They'll continue to play into next week. True, but the man that picked it up in set 3, Willie Bryan, really pacing Mount Madonna in that set 3, scoring the most points, had some blocks. He said this about the topic you're going on last week after that exhilarating match against SoCal. He said, right now, we're just thinking about CCS. We're not even thinking about NorCal's, especially after the last 2 years. So they need to take care of business here first before they can think about what's going to go on further. Even though if they lose today, they still get to get that bid in. But they want to win in the worst ways. And look at PK McDonald. I mean, he's hands through the hair. He wants this win really bad. We might even have to get him as part of our player of the game interview. Just get coach in on it because he wants it badly. Look, he's clapping 5 with his bench players saying, come on, boys, one more set and we're CCS champs. One more set. Give it all you've got. Do not leave anything on the floor. And now he's talking to his libero there, that being Luciano Jimenez, 5'10", or make that Rudy Hooven, 5'7" senior, saying, come on, I need you right now. The team needs you, as Hooker is going to come off the floor, Roger Hooker. That's right. Leigh will serve first here. Mount Madonna up 2-1. Third-seeded Leigh have to go 5 to beat the top-seeded Mount Madonna Hawks. They trail 2-1. Great serve by Vanderloot. Mount Madonna's scrappy defense keeps it alive. The block is there. Leigh keeps alive. Here comes Judd hitting error. So Mount Madonna winning a competitive first point. And once again, it's the hitting errors of Leigh that have contributed to points tonight for Mount Madonna. We talk about Bryan, we talk about Getz, and they've done great jobs. Do not get me wrong. But by a lot of accounts tonight, through the sets, first 4 sets, it's really been Leigh making a lot of mistakes. Judd goes tip, nobody home. Great time for that. We're tied up at 1. And right after hitting error from Judd, he comes back and gets the kill in no man's land, and he knows he needs to respond right now. Chase Garfield, the co-captain, with the serve. 11th service error of the match for Leigh. I thought that one was in bounds. I guess it just narrowly missed there. Fust with the serve. Shanks the pass. Mount Madonna chases it down. Free ball for Leigh. Durkees. Speared by Mount Madonna. It's Fust. Getz goes tip. Durkees, unfortunately, gets his teammate in the face, and Mount Madonna looks determined to wrap this up in 4.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Getz will get will get the kill there, but it couldn't have been done without Daniel Fust sprawling, going full out to save that ball from hitting the ground. That's the kind of plays that that a championship will live on and be remembered for.
Durkees left side, nobody home. Side out Leigh. Mount Madonna has a number of alumni players here that played for Mount Madonna, including their former athletic director, Baudry Doss, here. Right in front of that great play by Fust, as Leigh now with the serve, up trailing 3-2 in set number 4. And a shank there by Jimenez. I think he'd like that one back.
Yeah, I think he would too. And mistakes are prone to happen. 3-3 now. Leigh with the tie game. A lot of green and gold here on support for them. Can they open this game up a little bit?
Serrano serve. Fust calling for it, gets it. Mount Madonna has picked up their intensity, which was not even lagging before.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been intense throughout the whole game, but now they're taking it to a whole nother level that we haven't seen. And like I said, I think it's coach PK McDonald so fired up.
Served by Mitchell. Durkees, they need him to get hot again. Durkees has to reach back, goes roll shot. From behind the 10-foot line, Fust catches Leigh napping.
Yeah, Fust now with 2 consecutive points. He's really carrying his team right now. He is trying to get them to victory.
5-3, Mount Madonna leads. Fust takes his time, deals. Durkees, he's been ineffective until now.
Well,
at least in this set, he's had a terrific match.
Durkees has been effective throughout the match. Don't get me wrong, but it's the first time he's really done something here in this 4th game. It's still rather early. I know that's not the first time we're going to hear from Durkees at the end of this game.
Judd to serve, his team down by 1. Getz. Block is wide. Getz is just flinging himself into the air, flinging himself into these sets.
And this is the last time he's ever going to put on in front of a CCS crowd, and he's excited for the opportunity.
The Frediani serve, Mount Madonna up by 2. Running the quick, doesn't clear, 4 hits. Hawks up by 3. Plays an out ball, I believe.
They got to hit it over here.
Free ball for the Hawks. Fust has to reach back into the net on Leigh. Fust with a smile, 8-4 Mount Madonna.
Yeah, not only did Leigh get into net, but perfect placement there of the ball by Getz. Nice little soft touch.
Floater. Running the quick, great coverage by Durkees, oh my gosh. Can't handle it. Roger Hooker, the 6'5" junior, how fired up is he?
Hey, look at that guy running around like a crazy man. And Getz is having to calm him down, say, hey, come on, big fella.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
we
over
don't want
yet.
any taunting. 9-4. Leigh needs to stop the bleeding right here, and they do off the paw of Durkees.
Yeah, they put that 4-0 run to a halt, did Leigh. Durkees once again having to be the guy to do that.
Durkees serve.
Durkees, for all the power that he generates on his kills, just does not translate in the serving game.
I think he's been asked to do so much for this team tonight. I think he needs to keep that concentration up when he gets behind the service line.
I'm just wondering if the guy has any kind of soft touch in his repertoire.
Garfield with the kill from the left side. Leigh needs more of that. Can't be a one-man show.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy I thought was going to step up. I mean, he's the one I kind of picked pregame to be that guy for Leigh tonight, and
He's
it's
their
definitely
kill
been
leader.
Durkee's, the junior, more than Garfield, the senior captain.
Jonathan's with the serve. Leigh down by 4. Fust goes off speed, speared by Judd. Garfield goes tip. Is it in there?
It's in.
It is in.
It is in for the point.
That was like slow motion, that ball coming down. Everyone just stood around and watched it for Mount Madonna.
Yeah, I think what kind of made it look that way too was the early jump there by Hooker. Didn't time that well.
Leigh down by 3. Fust unloads. Durkee's with the dig. Judd behind the 10-foot line, goes roll shot line, coming over. Durkee's. They've been going to him behind the 10-foot line. Does not clear. Mount Madonna up by 4. You have to recognize who has the hot hand on your team. And not at this moment, it's Durkee's. I would go more to Garfield.
Wow, nice trickle there, getting the benefit of the bounce.
And Garfield, too sharp on the angle. It's a 5-point lead for Mount Madonna.
Hooven sure did get lucky on his serve. That one just barely got over the net. Talk about a scathed job at the top. Service ace for Hooven. Wow.
Only the 3rd of the match for Mount Madonna. And Coach Carr wisely calls a timeout. Timeout on the floor. Mount Madonna 12 points away from a CCS title. They lead the Longhorns 13-7, set number 4.
Folks, if you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight, then tell your school to sign up for the Play on Sports School broadcast program. There's a couple schools that already do it, and they do it quite well. Talk about St. Mary's. I've seen them with some of their own programs out there in Berkeley, as well as other schools around the area. They're just the one that pops up to mind. But the program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web, student-based. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. Kirsten, I sure wish that they had a program like that when I was in high school. You know, as a high school student, to get to be a part of broadcasting and producing your own sports content, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's almost like an unpaid internship, you know, before you could get to college. I mean, kids are lucky these days.
Absolutely. Out of the timeout, Mount Madonna 13, Leigh 7, set number 4.
And Hooker has really been the man that has kind of lit up Mount Madonna in this 4th game and really provided them with a lot of energy. He's sitting on the bench right now. Maybe he'll spark up the bench while he's out there, but the guy can barely sit still, up and down, walking around.
Durkee's behind the 10-foot line with the kill. Side out, point to Leigh. Again, Leigh beat Mount Madonna back in March, lost to them on April 27th. This is the rubber match. What a play, just like they draw it up in practice. Willie Bryan off the set by Aguirre.
Beautiful set there by Aguirre. Laid it up perfectly for Bryan, and Bryan knows what to do with it at that point.
Service error.
And once again, it's a young man, number 15, Pedro Aguirre.
8th of the match.
He's taken the tape off his forearm, the tape that we saw there earlier in the game. It's no longer there, but still ineffective at the serve.
Catching. 13th of the match for Leigh, as Mount Madonna with a 6-point cushion, and their steady Eddie, Daniel Fuss, back to serve. Judd punched up. Fuss catches it with his fingertips. Here comes Durkee's. Kill by Durkee's. He's found his rhythm once again.
Yeah, Durkee's with a near facial to Fust. That ball just missing underneath his face, kind of tapped at near around the neck area, upper chest, and Fust just couldn't handle that laser from Durkee's.
Serrano with the serve. Reaching back. Durkee's punched up by Fust. Getz has to adjust in midair. He does. Sometimes you just got to watch the ball, and Getz certainly did on that play.
Back and forth, back and forth. since the timeout break. It started off with the Durkee side-out kill to go 8-13. Then Bryan get a point for Mount Madonna, 14-8. Then Aguirre with the service error. Then back to another service error. Then Durkee's the kill, gets kill. Finally, 2 consecutive points won by somebody, and this time it's Mount Madonna.
Just the 4th ace for Mount Madonna off of Mitchell. And Coach Carr needs to call a timeout. That seemed like a half-hearted play on that serve from Leigh. 17-10, Mount Madonna, 8 points away from a CCS title. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Central Coast section, including their commissioner, Nancy Lazenby Blazer, and Steve Filios, as well as the folks here at Independence High School for their hospitality. Our producer today is Brad Youngquist. On camera, David Custon. I'm Kirsten Fairchilds alongside Michael K. Smith. 7:30 is the scheduled start time for the boys Central Coast Section Division I match between Mountain View and Archbishop Mitty. Make sure you tune back in for that. Mount Madonna, the team from Watsonville. Fans travel so well. This place is going to be bedlam. Actually, if whichever team wins it tonight,
yeah,
both these
Leigh
teams
has
want
a lot
it
of
so much.
spirit too. Leigh with the green and gold. I've seen some signs amongst the fans, but yeah, you talk about Mount Madonna, team that they can now, they smell that. It's like the apple pie that's fresh out the oven. They can smell it. They haven't tasted it yet because it's not cool enough yet to eat. Still pretty hot, but.
What a dig on Durkee's. And they're going to say into the net on Getz. Again, his momentum couldn't handle his own momentum, obviously. And point Leigh. Judd back to serve. Merrick Judd. GPA over 4.0. Like to walk on a BYU's team in the fall. And problems there as Leigh, it's 7th ace. Freshman setter for Leigh, sophomore setter for Mount Madonna. Gets in there for the point. Six-point cushion for the Hawks as they edge closer and closer to victory. Punched up by Durkees, gets it back on the approach. Hits the shoulder, this is playable. Gets too much, hitting error.
And what a shame there that Getz couldn't just tone it down a little bit. I mean, after he got that magnificent receive from the libero. I mean, Rudy Hooven played that one well, right off his shoulders, got lucky.
Durkees, what a serve coming our way. Getz keeps it playable, good job. Garfield, block is there. Judd with the pass. Durkees behind the 10-foot line. Dug by Fust. Here comes Getz. Getz with the takedown. Ran right into the cushion. Good thing these bars are cushioned.
Well, you know what? Getz just seemed like he had that just nice running start, getting into it. It seemed like he had the perfect angle to go cross court with it. Sent it at a position where Leigh couldn't respond. Great job by Getz.
Garfield with the pass. Dump, but it's wide. Good try by Vanderloot as it's a 7-point lead for Mount Madonna. Leigh coach Rob Card looks on. Can his team hang in here? Not off blocks like that. Celebrated by Hooker and Fust. Coach Carr not calling a timeout here. 8-point lead for the Hawks.
And look at Hooker. He is just so ecstatic out there.
Hooker with the dig. Here comes Fuss, goes off speed, into the net on Leigh. And Coach Carr, I'm kind of surprised he's not calling timeouts here. Maybe he's trying to see if his team can right the ship on their own. And the look by Roger Hooker doesn't want to come out, but Bryson Smith, the 6'1" senior, checking in for the first time tonight, 22-13. His team 3 points away from a CCS championship. Garfield goes roll. Here comes Fust. Fust off speed. Durkee's touched by Frediani. Leigh, plenty of room to make up here. Trailing 22-14 at 2-1.
Yeah, Durkee's taking business into his own hands there. Killing one off Frediani. Frediani not in position to be able to get anything close to response. And it's the senior that gets called in.
Bryson Smith checks in for the kill. He's going to come right back out as Daniel Clifton, the 5'11" junior, checks in for the first time tonight. Clifton will serve.
I love everything about that. First off, his last name is Smith. Secondly, he's wearing my favorite number 24. Third, and most important, the fact that P.K. McDonald gave him a shot to get in at the CCS championship game as a senior. Last time he'll ever get to do that, and he scores a point.
And a shame for Clifton, who checks in and delivers Mount Madonna's 9th service error of the match. He'll come right out. That means Smith gets to come back in. So Mount Madonna trying to get everyone in, and Leigh needs to try and make some progress here. 2 points away from losing this match as Aguirre goes dump. Match point for Mount Madonna.
What a deceptive dump there by Aguirre. No look over his back shoulder, just with the tip. And now they're just 1 point away from finally getting it after their third consecutive appearance in the
Aguirre has to come out. He's being rotated in for someone we don't even have on our roster. So the mystery man has the honors. Mount Madonna, match point. It's a bullet.
You could hear a pin drop.
Right side. And Garfield with the kill. It's in there. Match point number 2 as Aguirre comes back in right away.
Prior to that kill, it was so quiet as these fans just wanted to set up an eruption here in this gymnasium. It's going to have to wait a little bit longer.
Match point number 2. Garfield serve barely clears to end it. Block is there. Match point number 3. Mount Madonna is so busy playing the substitution game. Leigh still in this one.
Yeah, Dierke's with the block there. Very successful, timed it well.
Garfield serves again. He'll have to serve this out. Hitting error. Match point number 4. And Mount Madonna's Kai McDonald, PK McDonald, has to call a timeout. Leigh still alive, facing match point number 4 when we return from the timeout.
Thank you, Kirsten. Remember, folks, stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com post-game show where we will select our player of the match and have a live interview with that player. That's coming up following the match on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And Kirsten, I think that Mount Madonna may be getting a little too overexcited and overconfident, thinking that they had it locked in the bag after going up 24-15 with that beautiful Aguirre dump over the back, no look. And since then, 3 straight points now for Leigh on the Garfield kill, the Durkee's block, and now the hitting error there by Frediani going up with too much touch and trying to seal the deal, but instead hitting it deep.
Leigh fans cheering their team on. They've withstood 3. Facing match point number 4, Leigh trailing 24-18. Their senior co-captain with the service duties. Who else would you want besides Chase Garfield to try and mount this comeback? Garfield, pass, running the quick. It's over. Mount Madonna has done it off the hit, the kill from Willie Bryan. Mount Madonna wins its 2nd CCS title ever in the sport of boys volleyball. Its first since 2002. The Hawks with the victory, 25-18, 20-25, 25-21, 25-18, the 2013 Central Coast Section Division II champion.
Congratulations to Mount Madonna after all they've gone through in the past years leading up to this point. And I was on hand to witness loss number 2 last year. Finally see him get the championship. I know PK McDonald is just gushing on the inside with a bunch of emotions, most of them good, happy emotions. And for the seniors, Willie Bryan and and Jake Getz, all the hard work they've put in. Joseph Frediani, of course, Bryson Smith checking in, but Rudy Hooven playing great in the backcourt today as the libero. Daniel Fust playing hard. I mean, these guys stuck it out despite some service errors, and you got to think they're going to have a team that's going to be in competition mode again next year. When you look at Aguirre, who will be back, he'll be strong. Also Hooker, he'll have probably a very stellar senior year next year. Didn't get to see too much of Jimenez, but when he was on the floor, he made things happen. And Tobin Mitchell, they did pretty well off his serves. He didn't have much service errors when he was in there serving. So, they won one now, and some would think, well, now maybe their run's over. A lot of seniors graduating, but I think they can build off this. And once again, just congratulations to Mount Madonna. Also, big ups to Leigh for getting to this point and having a very successful year behind longtime and legendary coach Rob Carr. And I hope the best for Chase Garfield, Jonathan Parkers, as well as Merrick Judd, who will be going on to play at BYU. And they're another team that's going to come back next year with Aaron Dirks. We saw how much power he has, and he can be a real big force in the CCS next year. Mount Madonna's about to get their medals. I think we're going to take a break, and we'll select our player of the game.
Leigh moves to 27-4 after the loss. Mount Madonna improves to 27-8. Both of these teams will play next week in the CIF Northern California Regional Championships, the first ever. Again, Mount Madonna a 4-set winner over Leigh. When we return, we'll have our PlayOnSports.com player of the match. Mount Madonna victorious in San Jose tonight.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here. Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a
a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com.
Sorry, I'm getting all sorts of strange cues from my cameraman. Welcome back to Independence High School. We're here with our playonsports.com player of the match, Willie Bryant from Mount Madonna High School, the 4-year starter, the middle. Congratulations on the victory, the first CCS title for your school since 2002.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Oh, amazing. I can't describe how bad it felt the last 2 years to lose and how good it feels to lose the third year. I mean, to win the third year. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of.
That's all right. We appreciate your enthusiasm. You really came up big, it seemed, when your team needed you the most. Is that the kind of role that you see yourself in?
Yeah, I think so. I think I played a part in the team that was sturdy, a rock kind of player that was always there when we needed me.
What about this Leigh team? I mean, you know, they've never been to a CCS title match before. They don't have any club volleyball players. They really seem to get better as the match went on.
Yeah, well, they're a really impressive team, given that none of them are club players, or I think one of them is a club player. But, wow, we were nervous at first because we lost to them earlier in the season, and then we won in a tournament more recently. So that gave us a little bit of confidence, but they really showed a lot of heart out there.
For people unfamiliar with your school, Mount Madonna in Watsonville, you have such a limited enrollment, such a small enrollment.
65, I think, high schoolers.
65, that's boys and girls, yet year after year it seems like you're a boys volleyball powerhouse. What's the secret up in the hills?
Well, I'm not going to give you all the secrets, but I think a lot of it is that volleyball is one of our few sports, and we care a lot about volleyball. We've been playing since the beginning of the school. It means a lot to us.
Well, congratulations on the win, and congratulations on being our playonsports.com player of the match.
Thank you very much.
Willie Bryant, Mount Madonna has won the CCS Division II title for the first time since 2002. We'll return with more from Independence High School in just a few minutes.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Well, the CCS Division II title has been decided in the sport of boys volleyball. Mount Madonna, a 4-set victor over the number 3 seed, the Leigh Longhorns. Mount Madonna seeded number 1. They come through with the championship.
Yeah, they finally came through after so many years of just getting so close to winning it all. And this year, Coach P.K. McDonald could finally win one as a coach. You know, before that, all he had was memories as a player, and I'm sure he was sharing those with his teams year after year after year of how great it feels to win a championship. And now his players finally get to feel that experience. And for guys like Getz and Brian that have worked so hard and have put in their time in this program to finally be rewarded with the CCS championship in front of, they had a lot of fans out here really having their back, and they flooded the court as fast as they can once that final point was on the board. And just big ups to them. I mean, they played tough. Like I said, any team could have folded, as they did commit a lot of errors, most notably on the serve, and most notably off of Geary serves. But they just kept battling. Getz with some very strong kills. Great pick as far as our player of the game goes with Brian. I just thought he brought a lot. He brought the most all-around game. Yeah, Getz might have had the most kills tonight, but I don't think it's all about kills in volleyball. I think you got to bring other intangibles. Brian definitely had the defense going. His blocks that he had in both games, 1, 3, and 4. I mean, really, 2 was the only game I didn't notice Brian a lot. But other than that, in those 3 wins that Mount Madonna was able to rattle off, Brian was huge. And just, you know, I loved him. I loved Hooker's intensity and energy. I mean, he was really lighting up the crowd. I think sometimes McDonald had to take him off the floor and say, hey, man, we need you to just calm it down a little bit. Even Getz, you remember pulling him over his side, say, hey, man, no, we don't want any taunting penalties or anything like that. But I mean, you could just see this team is overjoyed, ecstatic. They should be. Now they're going to go on to the NorCal Finals, first ever NorCal Finals in the sport of boys volleyball here in California. And we'll see if they can keep that magic going, keep that run going. And for Leigh, hey, you know, my hat's off to him for making it to this point. Coach even admitted it as he walked past us. Just too many mistakes made tonight. And really, that's what it was. You know, they did have their kills from Durkee's. He played awesome. I can't wait to see him in his senior year. But Leigh definitely, I guess you would say, left a lot on the floor tonight. They definitely awarded a lot of points to Mount Madonna, and I'm sure that's something that's going to haunt them. However, they do get a second chance at redemption. They will get NorCal Regionals. Who knows? Maybe these two teams might square off against each other. You never know. But the bottom line is both teams will be representing NorCal Regionals, first time ever in state history. And Mount Madonna, congratulations for finally sealing the deal. 3 straight trips, and it's the 3rd time's a charm for the Mount Madonna Hawks.
That's right. Mount Madonna, a 4-set winner over the 3rd-seeded Leigh Longhorns. Again, they will be in action in the Northern California Regionals, first ever. That will be next week. As you can tell, the D1 match is warming up, 7:30 scheduled start time. Archbishop Mitty, seeded number 2, taking on the top-seeded Mountain View Spartans. But that's going to do it for the D2 match. On behalf of my partner, Michael K. Smith,
don't leave me hanging, sister.
Brad Youngquist.
There we
Sorry,
go.
didn't see that. Our videographer, Dave Custon. A big thanks to everyone here at Independence High School and with the Central Coast section. I'm Kirsten Fairchild. Thanks for joining us. Mount Madonna over Leigh for a CCS title tonight.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.